Season 11 of Letterkenny is out now in Canada and will be out very soon in the US on Boxing Day, although probably by the time this video is posted, it will have been out. Letterkenny is one of my favorite shows of all time. A lot of you guys know that. I review it every single year, although I only started watching in 2020. So I reviewed seasons 9, 10, 11. I really enjoy every single season, and season 11 was something I was very excited for, as I am every single year. But we also got Shoresy earlier this year, so we're just loaded with Jared Kesso's content, I guess, this year, which will never disappoint me. And once again, season 11 is just an absolute blast. For me, there hasn't really been a miss for the seasons of Letterkenny because they are so short. Sometimes the ones that I haven't seen fully in 2 years or whatever, 2.5 years, they kind of do start to jumble together, which is nice because they're 6 episodes. I think maybe one of them has 7 episodes, but they're mostly 6 episodes, 20-25 minutes each. So it flies by. I mean, you can watch it in just over 2 hours like I did tonight. And I really enjoyed this. For me, what I kind of factor in 11 seasons into this show is, does it have memorable moments, and does the whole season overall feel like it has an impact on the rest of the show? And for me, I'd say for the most part, this season does. It's not one of my favorites. It doesn't have the greatest episodes of all time, but there is one episode specifically that is my favorite here, and that is episode 3. I think that there are a ton of great jokes there, jokes that I am still thinking about and will be thinking about for weeks after that. And one of my favorite things about the show is that every single season, there seems to be lines that just get wittier and sharper and quicker. Like, it's just like they always up themselves. Sometimes it does go a little bit over the top, but that's the point of the show. I've got to the point where I was like, I accept it. So when they're going off and they're naming, items or drinks on a menu and they're relating it to hockey players and it goes on for like 2 minutes long, I'm like, okay, it does go on for a bit too long. But it's also insanely impressive that they come up with all this stuff. And of course, the back and forth between the characters is always hilarious. There's a little bit less of a certain character here, but his scene is definitely one of the top 3 of the entire season. Something I really appreciate about the season is that we brought Glenn forward, at least a little bit in the first half of this season, because in the last few ones, the previous few, he's been a little bit distant here, but he has some of the funniest moments just right from the first episode. I mean, there's so many times, and I think Jacob Tierney, or however you say his name, he really gets to shine here. And of course, all the jokes here, and his delivery is always so well done, and the way that he bounces off of Riley and Jonesy and the other workout bros, it just works so well. And the way he leads a lot of different people in this is great. And of course, the Skids, the Hicks, the hockey players, they're all great here. I'd say the Skids, once again, Stuart and Rold stood out to me. They always kind of, it seems that like some seasons they're like really like, wow, they're one of my favorites. Other ones I'm like, they're good. Like, there's never been a moment where I'm like, oh, the Skids, no, which I know is the point of them, but still, I thought they were both really great here. There's a few times, especially towards the middle, I'd say, of the season, to do with their drug dealing, which definitely has some of the best moments of the season. But episode 3 is definitely my favorite of this one. This is one of my favorites of the past few seasons, and we're 11 seasons into the show, so how I kind of judge how these seasons work, I know they're like 6 episodes, there's like 20-25 minutes, so it just takes barely over 2 hours to finish it, but I judge it on memorable episodes, moments, and impact it has on the entire show. So typically what they do with the seasons is that they'll carry on stuff, of course, from the past ones, but each season at least tries to have one thing special about it that is specific here, and I thought they nailed that once again. It's not one of my favorite seasons, but it does have some great moments here. And anytime you think, oh, where is that character? I'd say for the most part, they turn up, and especially with characters like the Dicks, have some of the best moments of this entire season. That 3rd episode just is a laughing fest from start to finish. It's by far the best one in this season. And something that still will always impress me about the show is that it just somehow gets smarter, wittier, funnier, quicker. Like, every single season there's something to this level. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on, and sometimes it can get to the point where you're like, okay, like, that's a lot, but then in the back of my head I'm thinking like, how did they think of this? Like, how did they all come up with this? It's just really impressive to me. I really enjoyed this season. I thought there were some cool, vulnerable character moments that I didn't really expect. A bunch of great laugh out loud moments. Maybe not my favorite season, but I did appreciate how they brought some of these characters, as I said, like Glenn forward. There were a few lines, prostate line, which kind of relates back to the last season, and other things with a missing dog, and of course the Dix family being hilarious. And of course, our man Shorzy. It is nice to see a lot of him this year, I guess, with his own season, which came out earlier this year, which was great. And then this one, if you're wondering which one I prefer, honestly, out of these two, I think I'm going to give it to Shorzy, but it is a close competition because I did really enjoy this one. Letterkenny Season 11 is witty and quick, and it really landed hard for me. Not every episode is too memorable, but there are some big standout moments. The writing still continues to get sharper and smarter. I'm going to give Season 11 of Letterkenny a 4 out of 5. Again, it's kind of on par with the previous ones, I'd say. There aren't, like, for Letterkenny, for me, there aren't, like, this season's my favorite, like, season, you know, whatever. But there are specific episodes that I can really stick out, be like, these ones are my favorite. The hockey tournaments, it's, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I like. I feel like there's some nice standout moments here and a lot of bigger character moments, especially with the skids, as I mentioned, which worked really well. And the way they talk about certain things that you wouldn't expect them to talk about now is bold, and I thought was done extremely well. If you have seen this season of Letterkenny, let me know down below. If you're a Canadian, especially, let me know. No, this one is not out in the snow. This is something that if you're a constant viewer, this may look different to you. I literally just flipped my desk around. I was too kind of confined in that corner. As much as I love the background now that I'm looking at it, I feel like this is a nice addition. I put this shelf in today and all this fun stuff. But once again, thank you all for watching. Let me know your favorite episode or moment from the season in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Over and out.